Hi guys, this is Georgia from the Bead Shop in New Orleans. I am here to do a short video on how to attach the ends of the mask holders that we have been selling. We just launched this kit. Thank you to all of you who have ordered. This is a kid's kit. However, I want to clarify that this technique I'm using today can be used on any kind of mask holders. So it doesn't have to be the kids kit. It can be any kind of beads that are strung on wire. This is a crimped attachment that we're about to do. And it's going to be a little unique because we're going to use 2 clasps instead of 1. But the technique is just the same. The tools I'll be using are a flat nose or a chain nose plier. All that means is that the inside of the plier is flat. And a cutter. For those of you who are kind of doing substitutes at home, you can use any kind of needle nose plier that has a flat inside, or you can use nail clippers as opposed to these wire cutters. Okay, I went ahead and strung it up because that's what takes the longest part. And I've got all my materials laying out, and I think that's kind of an important thing. So I've got 2 clasps, 2 crimp beads, my tools, and 1 taped end and 1 open end, okay? So this was strung on something called tiger tail. That's what's in your kit. It's a very strong beading wire. It's great for kids. There is another one called soft flex. It's used for more professional pieces. So this technique works for both soft flex or tiger tail. All right, we're going to begin. So the first thing I do is I leave this longer piece alone, okay? You notice that I have about 3 inches here, and we need that to do the first end. I'm going to talk to you quickly about length before I begin. This particular one is 24 inches. This is for a 4-year-old. I think this will be just right for her and not make it too long. The nice thing about making your own is that you can make them any length that you like, and assuming that you have the child that it's for, I would really just hold this up around the child's neck and see where they would want their mask to lay, because it's not just a matter of how long this is, it's this length plus the mask hanging here. So be sure to try that beforehand. While you are measuring, please be very careful and have tape on either end of your wire as you're holding it up, okay? Know that the length that I just told you is the beaded length, and then the clasps, of course, add a little bit. So keep that in mind as well. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is pick up one of your crimp beads. Yes, it is the tiniest little bead you can imagine. This is a tiny piece of metal, and I'm going to thread that on. I need just about this length here. And then I'm going to take my lobster claw and thread it on. Take the wire here and go back through the crimp bead. But notice I'm also going to push it through some of these beginning beads. So you see it feeding through there? That little tail? I'm going to keep pushing that. And bury a little bit of the extra of this wire into these end beads. We're doing that for extra security. There's a lot of ways you can attach things, okay? We can give you some plain string and you can just tie the string off into here. But then you have a situation where it's not very strong and you've got your child sitting and eating lunch or something like that, and you know it breaks. And so we want to avoid that. So in the kit we were careful to include good quality supply so that won't happen, and attaching this in a nice professional way is the key. All right, so I went up, I went back through, and I've got the tail of the wire poking through here. We'll bury that in just a minute, but I want to show you what's happening here. Try to get it closer. Okay, it goes up and back through. Then I'm going to take my flat nose plier or needle nose or chain nose and smash only the crimp bead, not the bead and not the clasp. And I'm really, really squeezing this. We want it to be completely closed. And so I need to be able to pull on this right now. I'm pulling this and it cannot move. That tells me that this crimp bead is smashed around both pieces of the wire. I intend for this to be a highly unprofessional, unedited video, so bear with me. I'm still learning my way around making these videos, but I'm determined to get better because honestly, I think we'll be doing this for a while. Okay, I just took the tape off of this end. I had a little tape on there just for security. There's nothing fun about losing your beads. So now we're going to do the second end. Now the second end is a little bit trickier than the first, so I want you to prepare for that, and this is how. Since this side is nice and closed, I'm going to lay this in the exact shape that I'm going to want this necklace or this mask chain to be in, okay? And what I mean by that is that I'm not going to have it across here. I'm going to have it in a nice U shape because that's the shape it would be going around a neck. That becomes important in a little bit. With it laying down on the table, I take my other crimp bead, slide that down, and then take my other clasp, slide that down, and go with this tip, go back through the crimp bead, and try to get a good view. There we go. Go back through the crimp bead and go back through as many beads as you can. I don't mean to go through half of the beaded piece again, but I mean, if you can do 6 or 8, go for it. It's just adding strength. You see how I'm just feeding that through? Now, the reason I said this side is a little trickier is because you have to get all this little extra length out of here. And you're going to look at it like, how do I do that? So you're going to keep it laying flat and start kind of pulling the excess out of the piece. If I keep my finger right here on the clasp and pull, watch what happens. Do you see how it's starting to tighten up and get all of the excess out? That's what we want. Now, when it comes to this, we want to make sure there is still a little loop here. I want you to notice I'm not pulling that all the way. That is for security and so that this clasp can fully rotate. We don't want that to be too tight. So I've got my piece all set. I've got the crimp already smashed down here. I've got all of the excess out of here, not too tight, not too loose. And I put my finger on here and just pulled this until all of the excess was out. Now my piece is ready to crimp on the second side. Go in and smash it really hard. Becomes flat, just like that. And I take a peek and make sure that it's nice and tight. Now I'm going to use my cutter, or you can use your nail clipper, whatever you have handy. I'm going to pull this a little bit just to get it nice and taut. And I only want to cut this part. That's a pretty important thing because who wants to cut their whole piece? So I want you to go in carefully and just cut that. And there you have it. We just made a mask holder. We've got these nice clasps that have a generous size clip so that, you know, you can fit a variety of mask loops there. I hope that helped. I hope everyone enjoys making these with their kids or their young loved ones, whoever you're treating a kit to. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out to us. And we just love being a part of your creative life, and we love being a part of now keeping you and your kids safe. Have a great day. Bye-bye.